Welcome to Master Domaining. I'm Gene Pimentel, and in this session, we'll talk about how to diversify your portfolio to minimize risk. In a previous session, I touched on the fact that most new domainers get themselves in trouble by investing in too many domain names without first researching the related markets. This is a huge mistake, and I believe it's the number one reason for failure in the business. There's a second facet to this scenario that can be just as devastating to an aspiring domainer's business. The number two reason for failure in domaining is really closely related to the first. It's lack of diversification. This only applies to domainers who are investing in building a sizable portfolio with a limited budget. If you're fairly new to domaining and you're taking my advice of starting with a small number of domains, say 10, maybe 20, you'll be spared from much of the risk of any kind. But if you're working on building up a sizable portfolio or multiple portfolios, you'll want to really pay attention to this because it will affect you directly. But let's say you've done your homework and you have over time built up a nice portfolio. You were careful to choose domains that you researched to ensure there were plenty of potential prospects for. What could possibly go wrong? Well, it could go very wrong if you have not diversified the types of domains and markets in your portfolio. For example, say you found a specialized niche that centers around a new technology and the current market is all abuzz about it. There are more than enough high-potential buyers. You then register 100 domains related to this new technology, and you're certain you'll make a killing because everybody wants a piece of this market. Next week, a new invention comes along that renders your chosen market useless. This scenario happens frequently and especially in the technology field. Your investment of 100 domains is now dead in the water, and all you can do is take a loss. Now, if you had registered 100 different domain names in, say, 10 completely different niches, the chances of you having to nosedive is extremely unlikely. If one market goes under, you have 9 more to move forward with. That's what diversification is all about. There could be many, many reasons for a market to suddenly go dead, whether it's technology, real estate, personal care, or any of thousands of different niches. Invest wisely and never rely on just 1 or 2 different markets. Spread out your options, and you can steadily build each niche as time goes on, reinvesting profits as you go. Diversify along a variety of industries. When an entire industry hits a slump, the price of domain names in that industry plummet along with it. For instance, if a recession hits and the real estate market takes a nosedive, so will all of your real estate-related domain names. Choose from a number of relatively unrelated industries. Here are some examples: sports, restaurants, financial, real estate, cars, lawyers, mortgage services, dating and marriage, diet and exercise, skiing, travel, home improvement, and there are thousands more. The important thing is to choose from industries that are mostly unrelated, so one market dive doesn't affect the rest of your choices. By taking this into consideration as you're building your portfolio, you can hedge against losses that less thoughtful domainers could be wiped out by. To get a very large list of potential industries and niches to consider, remember the website I showed you in an earlier session called superpages.com. Here we are at Superpages. Then all you need to do is scroll down to the bottom and click on Popular Categories. And remember this page, it has thousands of different business niches that you can tap into, and this gives you a great idea of how to diversify your portfolio. Each main section, and there are lots of them, also have a More button at the bottom of the list. So if you click on More, you get an entire page based on that industry. You can also find the categories alphabetically by clicking on one of the letters. And when you click on one of these, you now have access to the list of the 50 most popular cities using that keyword. Once you gain some experience in domaining, the importance of building diversified portfolios will become quite clear. You'll face market crashes and dips as well as surges in demand. Diversifying is one of the few ways you can make your returns become much more predictable without investing more than you would otherwise.